If I'm not for myself, who is for me? And if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? I love these three questions. I think about the idea that millennia, many centuries before the head of the CDC, the World Health Organization, a president, a mayor, a governor gave us proclamations and instructions, a man by the name of Hillel said essentially the same thing, but in more coded language, just three statements with questions, asking us to think about what it is we do in this world that affects ourselves and the world around us, and what it means to live with a sense of urgency. If I'm not for myself, who is for me? In a time of quarantine and coronavirus and being in relationship with other people and setting an example for other people means a lot. It means taking care of ourselves. It means thinking, not panicking, not being paranoid, but imagining, living as if other people are infected and I need to keep myself strong and healthy, not only for the sake of myself, selfishly, but for the sake of my purpose in the world. And my purpose might be changing what I need to do to affect other people's lives positively. And the second piece, if I'm only for myself, what am I? That's a tough one in a time when all of us feel locked in, quarantined, limited, afraid certainly of an unknown future that, God willing, is unknown but certain and secure and healthy and strong and economically strong as well. But what is it to live in a time of coronavirus and ask ourselves, what in this moment do I need to do for other people? What can I do? And somebody asked yesterday, so what can I do? I'm stuck at home. What can I do to be of service to other people? And somebody else said, well, I'm crocheting caps for newborn babies or preemies. What an amazing thing to do. Another thing is simply to go through what once was called a Rolodex. Maybe it's now scrolling down your phone and saying, who can I reach out to that I know is alone today? Who can I reach out to that's recovering from illness now or less recently? Or might have vulnerability, maybe a widow, a widower, somebody who lost family or loved ones, who might in this time be more fragile even than I am. What an amazing experience to receive a call from you just saying, I'm thinking about you. I want to know how you are today. How are you coping with this? Let me tell you maybe a little of my experience without being there to advise them, just to strengthen them, to add your strength to their strength. Thirdly, if not now, when? If not now, this day, this moment of this Friday, of this day of our lives, when? When are we going to take it seriously? When are we going to realize that maybe it's worth erring on the side of being too cautious? If that's the case, it's okay. I'll grow stronger through this. I see posts and messages from people say, it's exaggerated, we're panicking. Yeah, I certainly don't advocate panic, ever. I remember in my military days being taught panic kills, panic is dangerous, so I avoid panic. But thoughtful choices, even erring on the side of caution based on the cautionary lessons that we're learning from around the world, I'm happy to indulge in that, even if to realize we did too much. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay to do too much for the sake of saving lives and for bolstering the health of the people around us and our society at large. I think we should trust the people and not all the messages that we get, not all the media that we're hearing, but to hone that down, to narrow it down to reliable sources that we can read and listen to and reflect on and trust in the efficacy of their words. If not now, when? Asks a lot of questions. If not now, when? Asks me, what can I be doing at this point in my life that I've put off? Whether that's a certain book to read, or a certain reading, or a certain learning, or a certain writing, or a certain communication with other people, or a certain reflection on my life. Taking time even for silence. During my sabbatical, that as you'd imagine is being cut short, rightly so, I had time alone because my wife was away taking care of her ill and dying father. And one of the gifts of that difficult time was silence, a lot of silence. And silence overseas meant really not hearing my own spoken language at all, even from beginning to the end of a day. And what it meant was I heard my own thoughts in a way that I ordinarily don't. And I had time to actually think about what I think. And I had time to think about who I am and how I behave in the world. And to make some adjustments literally through conversation with myself that I've taken into what has been since then the rest of my life, these subsequent days. So one last thought before I leave you to just wishing you Shabbat Shalom. Hope all of you join our chaplain this evening in candlelighting. You can find that on our website through a link to a live stream. But before ushering in Shabbat, essentially in ours, I just want to say that we will do well in this. Collectively we'll do well, and we'll do well by the lessons we learn and by the examples we teach and show each other, not only of what it is to stay steadfast and strong in light of illness, but what it is to be humane in light of insecurity, and what it is to be compassionate and kind and to make good choices, and what it is to think about one another and ourselves, and to think about the urgency and importance of one very moment, one particular moment, which is now.